If y'all love black people, like this, comment, and share it if y'all love black people.
If you're concerned about my weight for my health, no, you're not. Why do I mention it? Because it happened again. Did I cry for a solid 5 minutes before deciding to make this video? Yeah, 100%. You do not know anything about a person's health based on their weight. No. Shh. In 2022, I am tired of watching women have to explain, justify, and apologize for their existence because they live in fat bodies. I hate it. And I still have the disgusting privilege of being melanin deficient. I'm not here to speak on that experience because it isn't mine. I just want to include that I see you and I love you. Please, please let yourself be seen. Let yourself be heard. Okay, one of my many independent contracting jobs is that I'm a seamstress, so I do alterations now and then. I have a new client, and she seemed like a really nice lady. So we're having small talk, which is the safest conversation space with white women who live on the edge of Boomer Town. And then all of a sudden, she wants to introduce me to a friend of hers who's lost 50 pounds. What, does she need me to help her find it or something? No, it's because you think she could give me some tips. Do you know how many times I have lost 50 pounds? Do you care that my grandfather fattened me up when I was 3 years old, changing my weight set point forever? Did you know that I mirrored my mother's eating disorders from the time I was about 7? Or started dieting at 9? That I became my family's primary caretaker at 11? That I just didn't get a childhood? How many times I've been made fun of while working out? Bitch, I've been heckled on a treadmill. Or how about that time I dropped 265 pounds without surgery or divorce? Did you want to know about the near-fatal car accident where afterwards my body just packed on 90 pounds? Even though I was working out 6 days a week, lifting weights, eating clean? Oh no, none of that matters, does it? Because your worst fear would be to wake up looking like me. Because you know if that happened, someone would treat you exactly like you just treated me. Please understand, if this describes you, if I am your cautionary tale, don't let it be because of my weight. Let my life encourage you to start separating your self-worth and measures of your health by a number on a scale. I'm sorry if you hate yourself, but don't take that shit out on me. And if you want to take a walk and talk about it, I'm 10K ready. That's on health.
I love boys, but, I love women. Mm-hmm. It's equality. It's not about being above men, it's about being equal to men.
Here you're reading the surface level feminist book that everyone's raving about. Women are worth something. Racism is bad, but I'm not going to dive that deep into it. Trans women are women, but I'm not going to tell you how we can help them achieve equal rights. Men suck, but not my boyfriend. Girl power.
Shake that left and tap it, girl. Bring it back and drop it, girl. I wanna see you pop it, girl. Don't stop, just drop it, girl. You got a booty on your back, real fat.
People have been asking me to stitch one of our videos. There are different types of masculinity, and there's a type that is toxic, which is enforced by patriarchy. If you think feminists hate men and boys, you are wrong. It is fundamentally a traumatizing experience for any human being to be reduced to their sexual prowess, athletic abilities, capabilities to earn power, money, and status, and ability to care less. And yet in patriarchy, we commit to manufacturing boys to be faithful machines of these traits, devoid of emotional intelligence, which is a characteristic that makes human beings human beings. Toxic masculinity means that boys must externalize their pain from that dehumanizing trauma and harm others in dehumanizing ways, i.e. sexual violence. Young men who most subscribe to toxic masculinity are 6 times more likely to sexually harass girls. This type of thinking that feminists hate men and boys is the reason why we're not making progress. Start listening.
I'm about to ask a bunch of you to be really brave and relive some trauma because the narration around pregnancy needs to change. We need to move away from this concept and this fairy tale idea that is this beautiful, wonderful, magnificent time in a woman's life where she glows and it's easy because men are not hearing us when we talk about women's health issues, and they are not hearing us about the horrors and the traumas that can happen during pregnancy. So I'm going to ask you to be brave and share with me. So please, stitch this. Tell me about your horrific pregnancy. I'll go first. I was so sick with my pregnancies that I had to go in nearly every other day to get IV fluids and nutrients into my body because I couldn't hold down food and I could not hold down liquids. I lost 40 pounds each pregnancy. For the first 3 months to 4 months, I could not get out of bed. I could not move. I was on medication meant for cancer patients. I was so sick.
Good male allies, they tend to do 3 things exceptionally well. Number 1, they constantly look for ways to step aside. So women who are doing great work can be celebrated and recognized. And since good male allies, they tend to be such liberated men, from the need to prove themselves, they love pointing to women who have inspired them and say, give her credit. They're not threatened by the thought of decentering themselves. Number 2, they do not get lazy with their self-reflection. And remember that just because they're holding other men accountable, that their primary responsibility as a good male ally is to hold themselves accountable. They do not create distance between themselves as a good guy and those other men. Number 3, they radically listen to women. They listen not to respond, but to understand. And because they see women as leaders, they do not jump to solve the problems on our behalf. They create space for us to process our own problems and come up with an effective solution and offer his partnership in working towards that solution. These men exist, trust me, and I will start introducing them to you tomorrow. Stay tuned.
I hate that so many of us have had this experience, right? Where we go in to see a healthcare provider with a very legitimate concern, but because we're overweight, that's like the only thing that they can see. So I'll tell you though, I had a very wonderful experience. I see a nurse practitioner because I think nurse practitioners are better listeners on average. Don't come for me, any physicians or PAs. That's been my personal experience. I see a woman, and she herself is a woman of size. It has never been an issue. She has never dismissed anything that I have said to her as, you're overweight, you're just stressed, you're just anxious, drink more water. And I think that if you are experiencing these things, when you talk to your healthcare providers, that seems to be the reoccurring theme when they're addressing your care, you need to find a different healthcare provider.
Today's day 70 on my workout challenge and day 2 of my bikini a day for the month of May. Trying to combine the 2 in one spot. It's cold today, so I added the hoodie, but have a great Sunday, everybody.
Okay, repeat after me. I need to practice at something to be good. I need to practice at something to be good. I didn't do it perfect the first time, so I'm never doing it again. No!
Do you feel like you need to lose weight for health reasons? Do your joints hurt? Is your blood sugar elevated? Are you worried about cardiovascular health? Let me ask you this. Do people in smaller bodies have joint pain and elevated blood sugars? And do they suffer from cardiovascular disease? They do. Now, let me also say this. We know that diets are one of the biggest predictors of future weight gain. So if you're telling me that you need to lose weight for health reasons, dieting is probably the worst thing that you can do. It's gonna make you gain more weight. Now, that's not to say that you can't change your behaviors. Consider this for a second. If you are in a smaller body and you got the diagnosis or the health concern that you're having right now, what behavior changes would you make? If it's joint pain, maybe you could do physical therapy. If it's blood sugar regulation, maybe you could do stuff with fiber and protein. Improving your relationship with food is going to bring your stress levels down, which is one of the best things that you guys can do for your health. Follow for more tips like this.
If you are looking for ways to educate yourself about intersectional feminism or feminism that supports women of color and intersectionality, I suggest reading some of the following books. Angela Davis's Women, Race, and Class, and also her book, Women, Culture, and Politics. I suggest reading Women, Race, and Class first because this is kind of like a sequel of sorts. Also, her book, Freedom is a Constant Struggle, is really good, and I think that it's necessary for everyone to read. This book, Mickey Kendall's Hood Feminism, is also a good read. And another good book is White Tears, Brown Scars, How White Feminism Betrays Women of Color by Ruby Ahmad. And if you are a white person looking to be a good feminist, I think it's important to hand the mic over to women of color, amplify their voices, listen to them, and decenter whiteness from the feminist movement by educating yourself. And I think this is a good start.
Slice of pomegranate in there as well.
No, darling,
It's not pomegranate. What do you actually think it is? Give it another go.
It's grapefruit.
Yes, there we go.
I don't know my fruits.
Is it just you and me in the wreckage of the world?
Since girls are so smart, is this a Supro or a Skyline?
Trick question. It's a car. Gentlemen, what is the difference between a vulva and a vagina? And why do you rub the inside of our leg like you're doing something?
If your feminism doesn't include trans women, sex workers, and people of color, then it is worthless.